We're joined now by Matt Joyner. He is the Executive Vice President of Florida Citrus Mutual. Matt, welcome, and we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, Frank. Appreciate you having me this morning.
Great. Well, we published our annual State of the Citrus Industry Survey in our January and February issues of Specialty Crop Grower Magazine with Citrus Industry. And in the January issue, we published quite a bit about some of the practices growers are deploying in their groves to fight HLB, things like trunk injection therapies, and the majority of growers have been using it. And then, I think that flows with what we hear on the ground too. And the majority also say they believe it's improving tree health. So that's a good sign. It's been a little bit more of a mixed bag when you ask about impacts on yield and fruit quality. So, we just wanted to have you on because we know you're in your position with Mutual. You're talking with growers every day and just kind of get some anecdotes of what you're hearing out there, what growers are telling you they're seeing in their groves.
Yeah, Frank, so I think that a lot of what I'm hearing is pretty well tracks with what the survey results have shown. We do know that growers are seeing improvements. Heck, I drive around and see improvements in tree health, but I hear that from most of, as a matter of fact, pretty well all the growers I talk to. There is a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of where we're at in increased production and quality. Although I will say that I'm not sure I've talked to anybody that hasn't seen some bump in quality, even if it's slight. And certainly we're seeing greater production. But coming off a hurricane year last year, we would expect that. Nonetheless, growers feel like they're starting to see, or at least the folks I'm talking to, some of the results coming out of OTC. But certainly we have to remember that this was a 3 year therapy to just start to really tune these trees up that have declined greatly as a result of greening. And so, we're into our third year of using this therapy, and obviously not an ideal 3 years with multiple hurricanes. And we really can't underestimate the impact that a hurricane has on a grove. We've known that for decades. And so I think this weather year, when you look at the weather we've had, it's really been a good year. Obviously, even sans hurricanes, we've had a good growing weather, and those conditions I think have shown what this therapy has the potential to do. And so hopefully we're poised to really start to build on that potential in terms of quality and production going forward. Obviously, I know that time is not our friend right now. Growers are desperate for some real increases in production and quality and all the metrics that we know they need to be profitable. And so I'm really hopeful that we're going to continue to see some calm weather over the next few seasons, give these trees, these groves a chance to really start to recover and show what this therapy can do.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting, and we'd be grateful to see where we'd be at had we not had these hurricanes come through the system. Another thing that we asked about was the craft program, and there was good participation, at least from the respondents up to the survey in that program as well. Just talk a little bit about how important that program has been and what your hopes are for funding as we head into this next legislative session.
Yeah, the craft program has been a game changer for this industry. Obviously, we're fighting an invasive pest that came in through the southern ports, and that certainly the grower had no control over, and yet the growers faced with the economic damages and the need to deal with it. And so for the state and the feds to partner with us in looking to deploy research. And that's really what the craft program does, right? It takes research from the lab, deploys it into a commercial setting, and gives the grower some incentive to take a chance on the new strategies, the new therapies, the new root stocks and scion combinations, all the things that we've learned from research. And so it's been a game changer. We're starting to see some things rise to the top in terms of efficacy. We're seeing these therapies and other things that are being deployed that are giving growers real confidence in the tools that are out there now for them to be successful. And as a result, this last cycle, we saw record, uh, applications for participation in the craft program. And so that's very exciting. We're very thankful to Commissioner Wilton Simpson, who has the DSO, the craft DSO, under the Florida Department of Ag, as well as Senator Ben Albritton and our other champions in the legislature that have really come alongside us, partnered with the grower to help them figure out how to deploy decades worth of research, almost $1 billion worth of research in a way that moves the needle for growers. And so we would, be very, very grateful if we could see that momentum continue coming into this next legislative session. We understand, the issues confronting the state budget, and so certainly we're realistic and have realistic expectations about what's possible. Nonetheless, we just our message to the legislature, to the policymakers, to Commissioner Simpson and others is that we are, as a grower community, in this fight. They are putting their own skin in the game. Craft is a help, but it requires tremendous investment from the grower to participate in that program. And so we're hopeful that we'll continue to see the kind of support, robust support, that we've seen over the last few sessions as we turn the corner and rebuild this industry.
Great. And I know we had kind of an open-ended question in the survey to growers about, their thoughts on the future and everything. And that there were some hopeful sentiments there too. But as you said, they really wanted to emphasize where it's a big corner we've got to turn. And so there's a lot of work yet to be done to get back where we need to be. So Matt, we appreciate you joining us. Anything else you'd like to add?
Frank, I would just say that it's been a rough couple of decades. We've all seen the decline and the struggles that the growers have confronted. But I do hear cautious optimism out there, and Mutual will continue to fight for the grower to provide the resources and the tools that they need to be successful. And we do believe that there is a future for this industry, and so we will continue to do everything we can do to support the grower to help them get there.
Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you for all that Mutual does for the industry.
Thank you, Frank.